Hey man, how are you? Can you hear me?
Can hear you?
Okay, great man. Good man. So how's your day been?
Hi, sir. How are you? Yeah, it's been a busy week, hey? And today's not gone too bad. Your side?
Oh, it's been up and down, but it's good to, as usual, get down to the cricket. Yeah, man, a lot to talk about. Let's look at India and New Zealand. The match is quite interesting. India made 345 and New Zealand were bowled out for 296, and India are 14 for 1. So I think with 2 days to remain, I think if India play their cards right, they should win this match. But yeah, man, New Zealand played great on the second day, so anything can go in that match.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic fight back from India with the ball, eh? Because, I mean, I looked at the score last night. It was 129 for no loss for New Zealand at stumps, and they were like in cruise control at that point. And, I mean, we all know, I mean, India obviously posted 345 in their first innings, which I think they were probably reasonably happy with on
Mm.
I'd say quite a challenging surface. It wasn't the easiest of surfaces to bat on. And
Yeah,
I mean, you got to give it to Ayat. I thought it was an amazing 100 on debut. I thought he well controlled, and it just shows that this is a sort of format that suits him, suits his game. And I mean, it's been a long time coming for the Indian selectors to select him, but I think it was the perfect choice to pick him for this Test match. And yeah, I mean, he rewarded the selectors with that good trust with an amazing century on debut. And I think it's one he'll never forget.
yeah, man. I think India's got just so much talent that it's kind of hard to always bring in these players. So when you have people like Virat and Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant, the list just goes on. That it's nice to have these backups. It reminds me of Kedar Yadav. I hope he doesn't become another Kedar Yadav who makes like a triple century and doesn't ever play again. So hopefully he gets much more opportunities. It's a bit of a shame if you think about it because yeah, he should have gotten much more test matches. He'll probably
I
be
think I think
yeah,
he's sort of the good thing about Aya. He's come through the ranks. He's come through the youth system, and I think he understands his role in the team. So I think if he's going, I can really see him being one for the future. I mean, Rahane is not
mm,
going to be there forever, so I would think
of
that he'd be
course.
the perfect foil for Rahane when Rahane actually starts to retire. But yeah, I mean, India looking in a bit of control now, it seems, because I mean,
Yeah,
bowling New Zealand out
yeah.
for under 300 quite was quite superb. I think, as I said, 129 for no loss last night, and they looked in cruise control. But yeah, fantastic fight back from the bowlers.
Yeah, and I think these conditions are just I think Indian conditions in general are just tailor-made for Akshar Patel. So I think he's intelligent enough to exploit that, you know. Now the challenge for him is that when he goes overseas, can he at least perform half as decently there? And then that will pretty much be the true test of his ability, I guess. Hello?
I guess that's a challenge because I mean he's been so sensational at home. I mean
Hmm.
even in the England series he was at times unplayable, and he's just carrying that form into this series as well. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's obviously the challenge for him how he performs overseas. And I
Hmm.
mean the pitches are just tailored for him. Yeah, if you look at it,
Yeah.
uh, he's always keeping the batsman guessing,
Yes.
and he. I think his most dangerous ball is the one that goes straight on.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
he's quite an accomplished bowler in these conditions. So I guess the only thing that he needs to be tested out is in conditions, but in Indian conditions, he's a handful.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so let's go to the Sri Lankan one. Nice to see Sri Lanka in winning ways against West Indies. I was a bit worried this match could have gone to a draw with all the rain, but I think the pitch offered them just enough to squeeze out a result. But yeah, man, some of the shot making by the West Indies, hey, pathetic. They should have really tried to draw this match on the final day. I mean, but anyway, I guess Test cricket isn't their thing. But congrats. Oh, and Dimut Karataratne was actually the man of the match. I thought that bowler was going to get it. But anyway, yeah, good to see them in winning ways. I don't know if the series is going to be stopped now because of COVID. I think if it's not South Africa suffering and Sri Lanka as well, I think the series has been stopped, I think, from the second test match onwards, unless I'm wrong. Let me just check that up quickly. Hello, can you hear me?
Sorry, you're breaking up there. You're breaking up there. You're breaking up.
Oh, oh,
You
okay,
you
all
kind of
right.
breaking up there.
Okay, all right. No, I was saying that I read somewhere that I think the series has been stopped in Sri Lanka because of COVID and all that. So I think they'll be suffering like South Africa now, with teams probably not going to be going there, I think.
Yeah, I know. I mean, getting back to that first test against the Windies. I mean, we've been talking about the Windies for quite some time in Test cricket. That they just can't seem to
Mm.
get it right in this format, and they've always been struggling.
Mm.
And I think this is another situation where they been found wanting with the spin in the spin department and the inabilities with spin. And yeah, it was a fantastic victory from Sri Lanka there. And I mean, I probably could have seen this one coming as well because I mean. If you look at that Windies batting lineup, not much experience, and yeah, that proved to be the case. You got to have players that can actually do well against spin in these conditions, or you're really going to be found out quite easily. Hello.
Okay. Oh yeah, and if you look at this match here between Pakistan and hello, hello. Yeah, sorry, your thing keeps freezing, so I don't know if you are there or not. Okay, if you're there, just say hello, and therefore I know that you are talking to me.
You're having problems on your side with the connection.
Okay.
You're having. Hello.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah. You see the Pakistan versus Bangladesh, right? Bangladesh made 330 and Pakistan at the moment are 145 without loss, man. They really are cruising this so far.
Yeah, it looks a pretty flat wicket, if you ask me. I think Pakistan bowled well on that wicket to obviously bowl Bangladesh out for 330, and the Bangladeshis are struggling there big time.
I
It seems
thought
to
it
be
was a
quite flat,
fair. I thought it was a
and
fair pitch, right? When I looked at the highlights, I thought it was a fair pitch. I don't think it's flat. I think the fair pitch. There was some ball that were moving around, was seeming. It was a bit of an unusual Bangladesh pitch because normally Bangladesh pitches should be spinning and dipping and looks like a pitch that's more for pacers when I first saw it. I mean, I would say it's more balanced, which is not bad for a Bangladesh pitch.
I think in a way Pakistan they have the bowling attack to
Hmm.
obviously
Hmm.
play in all conditions. They have that variety, and that's obviously something that Bangladesh don't have. The one thing that they don't have is that sort of express pace that can trouble batsmen. They rely a lot on their spin department, and if you can get through that, then I think you've got a chance of getting over the line there against them. So yeah, I mean Pakistanis are good players of spin as well. So it's showing there in this test match. But yeah, I mean anything can happen. Eh? Yeah, you can have a collapse here and there, and things can change. But at the moment, Pakistan are in cruise control.
Yeah, I just want to check something here quickly. If there's anything I might be. Oh yeah, okay, okay, I remember now. What were your thoughts of the SA versus Netherlands in the first match? I know it got abandoned, but now your thoughts with now this pandemic coming to bite us in the butt again. I gave you a suggestion on WhatsApp about neutral venue. What are your thoughts in general regarding all that stuff I had discussed with you on WhatsApp? Because I think it's the only alternative right now.
Look, obviously, it's very disappointing at the moment what's going on, the situation and the health situation at the moment. And obviously, this new variant, which obviously they've given it a title yesterday, which is Omicron, I think. And that's the 14th letter of the Greek alphabet, the 12th or 14th letter of the Greek alphabet. So that doesn't bode well for things to come. But yeah, I mean, look, it's not looking good at the moment, hey. I think you were talking about, you mentioning UAE, but I mean UAE is also on the red list, red listing SA at the moment, and there's so many countries that are red listing SA, which make things so difficult, and that is why I'm you know, it's something that you obviously didn't want to happen, but in the back of your mind, it was all down to what the Netherlands health officials obviously were trying to put out to the cricket board, and you know they wanted the players back as soon as possible. But I just read an article that they're actually still in the country, and I'm not sure if they're going to be leaving this weekend or so. So yeah, things are out of control at the moment, man. Really disappointing for the game. And I mean, look, there's a massive series coming up next month, and we all hope that this series goes ahead, because if it doesn't, then it's gonna be really devastating financially for cricket South Africa. And you know, I mean, just everything that's gone by, and you know, there were so many tours that have been postponed and because of COVID, and obviously you've got another variant that's coming up here. So you look at health first, and you know the players' health and safety is priority at the moment, paramount. So I mean, the worst case scenario is you play this game without any spectators, and you essentially put those teams into a bubble. So that I see is the only way forward. I don't think this can be played in a neutral venue at all. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all, because I mean SA is on the red list, and every other country
But you see, but if you are doing it for more, but I think when it comes to business purposes, right? I'm sure it could work, but obviously they'll have to do a hard quarantine. Like, remember for the IPL, even SA were on the red list, but those players could come because of employment. So similarly, if they do something like that in UAE, I'm sure they'll just put them in a hard quarantine, whether it's for 6 days, whatever number of days, and I think it'll work. Plus, you won't need that many players to really handle. I mean, I think it's good for UAE business-wise, but you know, we'll have to see. I mean, I always thought of UAE because
I mentioned this to you. If the series goes to a neutral venue, it takes away the home ground advantage for SA.
But you see, but the UAE pitches are not so much in favor of Asia. I think they're quite balanced from what I saw.
That's what you're saying, but the SA is on a red list for the UAE, so it's not going to happen. The only thing that can happen is if India decide to come, and then you gotta play it, and you've got to have those both teams in a bubble. There's got to be limited amount of people around. That's the only way it can work at the moment. But it's all down to you know, the BCCI and what's their decision at the moment. But it's not looking good at the moment.
Yeah, that's why I thought of the neutral venue option, because I don't know. I think it can work, because even though we're on red list, but if it's for more business purposes, I think the UAE will allow it, in the sense that they'll just put us in hard quarantine. It reminds me of the IPL situation where even India were in red zone for UAE, but then they put them in a hard quarantine. So they'll do the same thing for us. It's fine. As long as we don't lose out in the India series. That's a lot of money.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it from a broadcasting point of view. If this is going to be a test series and an ODI series overseas, how do you sort out the broadcasting rights now? for people that don't really have satellite television and stuff. Because I mean, most of these matches, that South African matches, home matches, are free to air on the SABC. Now, if you're going to have it in another country, it's obviously going to be an overseas fixture. So how do you sort that out now? Because I'm pretty sure that you've got people that are obviously going to get the full rights for those,
I'm sure
and it's up to them to.
I'm sure we'll figure something out, because we can't lose out on millions of rands, let alone millions of rands, way more than that actually with the India series. So you got to figure something out. But I guess that's our endeavor. Yeah.
I guess the only way is it worked in the Sri Lanka series last year. It worked with the Pakistan series. Just have the games on under closed doors. And obviously, if India are coming down, they've got a quarantine for 10 days. So that's going to be important as well. So if they can get that part right, it probably can go ahead. But I think it's going to come down to not just the BCCI, but the Indian government as well, if they're going to give the team the go-ahead to actually tour there. But yeah, I just hope for the best. I just hope for the best, because the news that came out yesterday was very disappointing, and it didn't bode well for the rest of the summer.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Pat Cummins now being Australia's captain? I did expect it, because you couldn't have chosen someone that's been tainted. I know he's vice captain Stephen Smith, so that's interesting. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Hello?
Yeah, I think it was the expected choice. I think we spoke about it last week as well, and I think Cummins has been in the test setup for quite some time now, and he's one of the senior players, and he's been so consistent for the Aussies in this format. So I think it was thoroughly deserved, and he's a guy that carries out himself quite well. He carries out himself quite well, and he's a sort of likable character, I feel. He's one of the more likable Aussie cricketers going around. Not in Australia, but I think globally. So I think it was a good option. But the one controversial thing for me was the vice captaincy being given to Steve Smith, and that was very, very interesting for me, and quite. I think it was. I was stunned a bit there that it was given to Steve Smith. I mean, we all know what happened in the past, and I think that position of these has been tainted a bit. So I think it should be given to Love's Cockney instead of.
I thought the same thing as well, actually. Yeah, I thought. Tim Payne is also not in the Ashes now, so I think Alex Carey might take over the gloves there.
Potentially, but I think it could be Wade that could keep the wicket.
Wade. I forgot about that.
There's a spot up for grabs now, I think, in that batting lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not ideal for the other Aussies going into the to the Ashes series. So it's going to be interesting, eh? It'll be interesting to see if England can play on that sort of certainty in this Australian camp. But with everything going around, I just hope that series can go ahead, because summer with no cricket is really, really unthinkable at the moment. So things are okay.
Money on the line, eh?
I'm pretty sure that one would go ahead.
Yeah, it'll go ahead one way. Australia are quite strict with their COVID situation. I mean, I know Melbourne has been in lockdown for nearly a year. Imagine if our country went through lockdown for nearly a year. I think we'd go crazy. So I think Melbourne's gone through a lot there. But, okay, your final, I think, discussion here is Michael Vaughan making an apology to Azim Rafiq for hurt during racism controversy. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, he's denied all those accusations that were put through to him, and I guess if he's going to if he really wants to be heard, he needs to be heard in a sort of state of inquiry, and I think the ECB needs to get involved here as well, because I think this story just goes deeper and deeper, and I know. I mean, we all saw what happened with Azim, and that was it was quite shocking to see. I mean, from a such a huge county like Yorkshire. I mean, it's been one of the best performing counties in England, and for them to be tangled in this sort of scandal, and it's a sort of culture that was going on, the way it was so acceptable that players of Asian descent who were facing this sort of treatment, and it just needs to be cleaned up. It just needs to be cleaned out completely. You got to start afresh and just make sure these things don't happen again. All players need to be treated the same way, need to be given the same sort of opportunities. If they're good enough, they're good enough to play. I mean, there shouldn't be any question marks on this. And I think racism just needs to be thrown out of society as a whole. But it takes a lot of work. It's a society thing where minorities suffer it in certain countries, and we got to be conscious of it for our history as well. I mean, this country has made great strides in that regards, but there is minorities all over the world that experience it. So it's not something we want to talk about, especially in 2021. So I hope.
Man.
I hope whoever's involved needs to face the penalties. That's that is deserving, and cricket needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah, the problem though with Yorkshire that they have a history of this problem, racism. It's become renowned for it, so it's going to be quite a big thing to clean up. And I'm sure with ECB in so much of trouble, I think they'll have to have it cleaned up.
Yeah, I hadn't. I was watching a blog, and there were a couple of other former players, former Windies greats that played in county cricket in the 80s and 90s. Guys like Bob Richards and Clive Lloyd, and they obviously came out and said that they obviously played for other counties like Somerset and Warwickshire, but there was one place that they never really felt comfortable when they were actually playing. Was Yorkshire, and Yorkshire had this culture, and even the fans, and it was a very hostile sort of venue to go and play cricket. And it's been happening for quite some time, and I'm happy that it was exposed. And it's a sort of rotten culture that was been practiced there for a very long time, and it's good that there's new chairman on board there, and hope everything can go ahead smoothly, because I think the game as a whole doesn't need things like this.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me a bit?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, great. Okay, so just to finish this on a final note, so we can both confirm, I think I would still expect India to win this along with Pakistan, and I don't know what's happening with the Sri Lankan series. I don't know. I think I read somewhere that I think the series had been put on hold because of COVID. So I don't know what's happening there. So I think that's pretty much my wrap up for now. Anything on your side?
Yeah, I think this ongoing India and New Zealand Test match. I think there's only two results that actually can happen at the moment. It's either an Indian win or a draw. I think New Zealand can get a draw if they bat, if they can bat long enough, but it's going to be really, really difficult at the moment. But I mean, having said that, they could take confidence from the way they batted in the first innings. I mean, even though they fell a little bit short with the Indian score, but they used up a lot of overs, so it shows that they do have players that can occupy the crease. So yeah, it's either going to be an Indian win or a draw. And I mean, Pakistan cruise control at the moment, unless that pitch really flattens out and it becomes a real sort of uh, how do I say this? It becomes a real belter
Hello.
of a wicket. Was there and takes away all sorts of uh, you know chances with the ball to win this match. I think Pakistan should win this, but they still have to get over the Bangladesh total and obviously set a total. But I mean, how many more days are left in that test match? Is it 2 or 3? Oh, sorry, this is day 2. So yeah, there's 3 days in the test match. I think there's enough time. Honestly, I think there's enough time for all results there. I think there's enough time for the Pakistan win or the draw. So all 3 results are possible there. But I mean, with Pakistan's bowling lineup, you'd expect them. You'd give them the edge, especially in that second innings. And Sri Lanka and off. And I think probably for the better, they just wanted to make sure that players' safety is of paramount importance. And I mean, it's a decision they took. It's going to be hard for them to go back on it. So yeah, it is what it is there. I mean, series win for Sri Lanka. I think probably they would have won the series either way, either 1-0 or 2. It really doesn't make much of a difference to me. And the South Africans are very disappointing at the moment and very uncertain. And we're just hoping for the best.
Yeah, but I think the neutral thing can still work because I tell you why. Because when it comes to business opportunity, they'll just put us in a hard quarantine. I can see that scenario happening more than India coming to South Africa right now. I see that more happening than the other. But I guess you'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
I'm definitely not going to disagree with you on that one. I definitely can see India coming to SA and a hard quarantine and being in a bubble. That's the more likely option than playing in UAE.
No, that's why I was saying is that we are actually agreeing to disagree because I'm actually more for the neutral venue and you are more for India coming down here. I don't see India coming down, but if they do come down, I'm happy for that because it's good for tourism purposes. But it's just so annoying. The virus never ends. There's always some curveball happening.
I mean, if it's going to go to the UAE, which is really far-fetched at the moment, the conditions actually become 50-50 for me because I mean. India are quite competent in those wickets, and as I said, it takes away the
groundsman, right, to make the pitches grassy because it'll be our series. So you could instruct the groundsman. Yeah,
I guess so, but it's never really going to be the case in a sort of neutral venue. You're always going to get something that you don't really expect. I mean, you know what to expect at the Wanderers, you know what to expect at Centurion,
I'm sure you could. I think you could instruct the groundsman before the series starts to make your pitch, or you could try. No harm, no foul.
I actually see the other option. I mean, to me, it's more viable at the moment that India coming down here and playing in a bubble. That's to me, that's the only option at the moment. And I mean, I don't see. Cricket South Africa going the other way of having this in the UAE. If obviously if SA on the red list, and I understand it's just the playing squad, but I mean they wouldn't want to play in a neutral venue either way. They'd want to have that home ground advantage either way. I know what you mentioned about business, but it's also about result space at the moment. Result space is very important, and I think it's very important for SA to get back
But
from
if you
winning
look at
ways. So I think
the pictures that were happening in the UAE, they weren't so Asian-like, eh? They were more Western-like. So I don't think it'll go against us. I think they'll be fine, the UAE,
yeah,
especially
but
if
you see
they
the
can make those
UAE at the
pictures.
moment, actually heading in towards the winter season. So you're going to have a lot of problems with light uh, in
Oh,
a test match. So I don't think that's a good option at all. I think you can write off that option completely. I think the only option is you come here and you quarantine for a certain time, and then you essentially play the series with no fans behind closed doors, and it worked with Sri Lanka and it worked with Pakistan. But I mean, this variant is obviously on another level at the moment. It's highly
yeah,
contagious. I think everything has got to be perfect for it to work. But I see
yeah.
that being the only option. And if that doesn't work, then we're really going to be in a difficult situation.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear what you said there at the end.
Yeah, what I'm saying is if that bubble life doesn't work with the series, then we really going to be in a difficult situation. But I think CSA, I
Yeah,
think they pride themselves in player safety in the bubble. It's worked out in two series at the moment, so uh,
yeah,
who's to say it can't work out for the India series? But it's I think it's India's call at the moment if they want to tour. I honestly feel it's India's call at the moment if they want to tour SA.
yeah, yeah.
And we
Naturally,
all know
yeah,
this. I mean, this is the biggest cricketing nation coming to our shores. This is the biggest cricketing nation coming to our shores. Financially, it's the most lucrative series you can host,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
think it's going to benefit so many generations to come. So many cricketers are going to be benefiting from the series. So it's so
yeah,
important, not just from a tourism point of view, not just from a financial point of view, but I think just the experience of playing against India, it's going to be massive for these
yeah.
players. So yeah, let's just hope it goes ahead. And just fingers crossed that it can go ahead, because I mean it's one series that I'm looking forward to, along with the Ashes. I think this is two series that I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to in the summer.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, and I know what you're talking about results based, but let's be more realistic. If and they don't come down, we'll have to look at the, neutral option because fine, we may not get the advantage, but at least we won't lose out on money. So we have to look at it on that side of the coin. But we'll wait and see. It's all God's will, and I think that's pretty much a wrap, and I shall take you on the other side.
Have a good weekend, Sid. Chat to you soon.
Oh man.